What up, man? Central Coast Disc Golf is bringing you some more dynamic discs, discgolf.io, and TrueFlight sponsored disc golf action. As always, Dynamic Discs is sponsoring a Dymax giveaway, so make sure to like and comment for a chance to win. On the DD side of things, the Glass Clone Open registration is open, so get on that if you can. I hear it's an amazing tourney. It's got a ton of fun events. Discgolf.io can be your solution if you need some kind of disc golf presence on the web. They host a Central Coast Disc Golf site for me. It's super easy to use. TrueFlight is my buddy Garrett Tapkin's company. He's got some sweet shirts and hats with the TrueFlight logo. I'll leave a link in the description. Make sure to check it out. But anyway, let's watch some disc golf. All right, guys. Ian and Ben here from Central Coast Disc Golf, bringing a little FPO action from Masters Cup. And what we got the last day, Ben?
Yeah, this is the last day. Lead card. It's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, let's get to watching it, dude.
All right.
All right, guys. Pretty stacked lead card. Katrina Allen with a 7-stroke lead over Valerie Jenkins. Paige Pierce 3 back of that, and Jessica Weiss 3 back of that. It's day law though, Ben, so pretty much anything can happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to do to catch Katrina, but like you said, a lot of rollaways. You know, shots can end up in a canyon.
Yep, tree kicks, anything. So Katrina has the box, and we're on hole 1. Super uphill, double mando, really low ceiling towards the basket.
Yeah, kind of a tunnel shot uphill.
Looks like a pretty nice shot from Katrina.
Yeah, you really you don't want to be far left.
Yeah, very true. Valerie Jenkins up next. Ripping out Nanny.
Again, I'll apologize for the glare effect going on here. I'll just warn people if they're interested in filming disc golf, DSLR cameras are great, but there's a bit of a learning curve.
Yeah, it's definitely tough, man. Paige Pierce with her pull right here. And put that right up the middle, Ben.
Another very nice shot. She might actually have a putt.
Yeah, anywhere on that log, and you're feeling pretty happy.
Mm-hmm.
Or past if you can do that, but let's be realistic.
Mere mortals.
Yeah, right, exactly. Jessica Weiss throwing the backhand up the hill, and it looks like she might give herself a pretty good line to the basket from there.
Yeah, but she's probably going to have to reach out and throw a forehand.
Yeah, true story. Val with her up. And
good shot.
Like Paige said, that was a nice up.
Thanks, Paige.
Yeah, and here's Jessica with that forehand you're talking about, Ben.
Yep. Love it. Throwing the gator uphill.
Nice.
Probably got to give it a little bit of Anheuser, and she does.
Looks like you got pretty close.
Yep.
Katrina's second. Looks like she finished off the left a little bit, Ben.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think that was the window she meant to take, but she got maybe a little lucky there.
Yeah, it's going to work. Going to give her a pretty short par putt.
Paige does have a jump putt, but that might have just been a layup.
Yeah. And there's Katrina's par putt. Paige is going to tap in right here.
Yeah, this is definitely not a hole to be ashamed of getting a par on.
No. Don't see too many par frames even on the MPO side of things.
Right. And in fact, if you miss the Mando, it's a really tough upshot from the drop zone.
Yeah, you're probably taking a 5, honestly.
Yeah.
So, all the ladies tapping in for pars. Here's
Nobody likes to start around with a 5.
No, it's no bueno.
No bueno. At least not on a par 3.
Yeah, true. It's a par 6, you're feeling pretty good. But,
yeah.
Not a ton of those in disc golf.
Not a ton of par 6 in this.
So up next is hole 2, 288, super duper uphill. Dog leg left straightens out, and then the basket's on the edge of a cliff. Pretty tough technical hole, Ben.
Yeah, it's a very fun sidearm line if you've got one of those, but it requires a big booming Anheuser shot. Yeah. Otherwise, the backhand, you have to get really far out around these trees just to put yourself within a nice upshot range.
Yeah, it takes about 400, 450 of power to get to the basket on a hyzer line.
Really, to get all the way there, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, looks like Katrina tried to cut the corner a little close, Ben, and caught one of those trees.
Yeah, and it's going to leave her with a really tough upshot.
Yeah. And Valerie Jenkins up next.
Booming her Starfire up the hill.
Yeah, a nice hyzer line. As long as you get to the top of the hill, you're pretty happy.
Yeah. But it's a delicate upshot no matter what.
Oh, absolutely. Hard pan and slightly downhill with that cliff.
Yeah, one of the more infamous greens, at least at Daylaw, if not all disc golf.
Yeah, definitely. Paige ripping out that D1.
Huge shot.
Unreal how far she throws.
Oh, yeah, and a D1, which is supposed to be an overstable disc.
Right? Yeah. Just crushes it uphill.
Yeah.
And Jessica Weiss also throwing a pretty big disc, a destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
She's got that super slow run up and then just tons of snap.
Lots of snap, yeah.
So look at Katrina's second shot, and I don't know if she's gonna be able to get there from here, man.
That looks really rough.
Yeah,
You can kind of see a pointy tree about 2/3 to the right of the screen. She's headed right towards it, but I don't think she's going to reach it.
yeah. Not a bad up though from where she was.
No.
And
Really awkward footing.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is Val's second shot. Got to negotiate with this tree and all that hard pan.
Just laying up. Kind of surprised to see her take the hyzer route when the anhyzer was kind of there, but
yeah.
I'm sure she saw something we couldn't.
Yep. And it looked like she made it work. So it looks like Jessica's taking that Annie line you're talking about, Ben.
Yeah.
And,
which is really kind of nice because right about 5 feet behind the basket is this steep cliff.
Yeah.
And it can give you a rollout that's absolutely ludicrous.
It is an unreal.
Ludicrous rollout.
It is a ridiculous pin placement.
And you really just want to be with the slope of the hill there.
Yep. So here is Katrina going to try and save a par, and this is pretty death putty, Ben.
It sure is.
Ooh.
Wow, and it looked like it popped up and sat.
That is, wow. Really fortunate to sit down, yeah. And here's Paige with her par putt. Also super scary putt. It's either a 3 or a 5.
It's right. Maybe even more.
Right? But she makes that 3.
Great putt.
Mm-hmm. And Val with an unbelievable upshot, man.
Yeah.
And along with Jessica as well.
That's what you want to do. You want to be within about 5 to 10 feet if you can.
Yeah, you don't want a knee knocker on this hole.
No, in fact, I would say a lot of people would opt to give themselves a decent upshot range on this hole rather than go all out for the birdie.
Yeah. Just a safer play. And Katrina taking the bogue, bringing her lead back down to 6. And that's brings the hole 3. 349's pretty downhill. You can play it a lot of ways. Forehand hyzer, backhand roller, backhand mid up the middle. And
yeah, this is a great hole because it showcases a lot of different kinds of shots.
Yeah.
A lot of people will take what you see there is a short, low line. A lot of people will throw mid-range at it.
Mm-hmm.
You'll also see people throw the forehand big shot as well as the low shot.
Yeah.
I do believe we're going to see Jessica throw the big hyzer forehand on this hole.
Yeah, I know Sarah Hokum likes the low forehand line on this one.
Right? Yeah.
You pretty much see everything on this hole except for I don't think I've ever seen a forehand roller. That's about it.
No, but actually, it's been aced quite a few times with backhand rollers hopping up off a root next to the basket.
I can see it. I can see that. Yeah. So here's Jessica taking that big forehand hyzer line.
Vulcan's a nice choice here, not too overstable.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't want to go right. There's a steep cliff.
Yeah, there really is. I think she finished a little short right, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's Katrina Allen. Looks like she's going to go right up the middle with a backhand.
Looks pretty clean.
Yeah, just laser beam in that M3. Looks like it finished a little short and hit that tree, but hopefully give herself a putt.
Yeah.
So here's Jessica's second shot. Finished short right and going to try and throw through jail here.
Yeah, another trick about this hole is you get these jail positions.
Absolutely.
Where you might be really close, 50 feet or less, and you're still just kind of looking for a line.
Yeah, looks like Katrina's trying to do right now, Ben.
Yeah.
So she looks like she's lining up a stretch any putt, trying to get around these trees.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
That was a good run.
Had a chance.
Yeah. And Val also stretching something out, trying to make this bird.
It's one of those where you could just be 5 feet left or right, and you've got a wide open look.
Yeah.
But instead, you're in an awkward position.
Mm-hmm. So Paige also has a birdie look. Looks like she's about 35 out.
It's definitely in range.
Oh my God.
Oh, but by the reaction, looks like it just chained out.
I cannot believe that. God, so much chain, Ben.
Yeah. So you think the Mach X's, they don't spit out, but every once in a while, something like that happens.
If they
and Val too.
Missing the comebacker for a par. Going to take a bogue, hopefully. And that's going to be Jessica for a par. And notice with these Mach X's, if you come in kind of soft, they'll kind of just bump it right out.
Yeah, there's a few things. I think higher in the chains, it's a little more likely to spring back at you.
Yeah, totally.
I've been putting on them every day now. This is my home course, and I've gotten used to it. But I've changed my putt.
Have you?
I think a little bit. I'm just a little more firm from close range.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. So Val taking the lone bogue on that one. Katrina's leads back to 7, and we're up to hole 4. 390-foot gradual dogleg left after the crest in the hill right there. And there's a canyon off the right-hand side of the fairway the entire way.
And the second half of the fairway is littered with trees and hardpan. It's a tough hole, Ben.
Crazy hole. A lot of people will tell you the safest shot is a forehand roller that's blind.
Yep.
So good luck.
Yeah, right. You do see a lot of the backhand hyzer, but the backhand hyzer's not gonna get all the way there usually.
Yeah, what you're mostly faced with once you get over this hump into the blind area is you've got a tunnel filled with trees and a tunnel on the left that's open,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to present very different ways of getting to the basket.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It looks like Jessica went off a little far to the right there, but she did stay up off the cliff barely.
Yeah, that cliff on the right is really bad, but if you miss everything and then fade left, you might end up pretty close to the basket.
True. So here's Val after taking that bogue on the last hole, ripping on her Starfire.
Ooh, good shot, just over that crest.
Yeah.
Looks like it faded a little early though.
Yeah, but it should play.
Yeah.
So looking at Jessica's second shot, and the basket's kind of in line with the guy with her bag.
That's Eddie G from Monterey.
They call those people caddies, Ben.
That's right.
And Jess throwing the forehand. Ooh, catch a tree right there.
Caught a tree, but a nice look from a tough position.
Mm-hmm. Katrina also throwing a forehand, but hung it out a little wide.
Just flexed a little bit where she didn't think it would, I bet.
Yeah, I think you're right. Val finished off to the left, kind of gives her a bit more of an open look, but still tough.
Yeah, it's just another one of those really tough greens.
Yeah, and hits that tree. Really tough to slow down on once you land, too.
Very tough.
Paige also throwing a forehand. See what you can do. Pretty downhill and hard pan.
Good shot.
Pretty solid up right there. So Katrina, it's gonna be a third shot. I probably not running this.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, laying up for a 4. Smart play right there, honestly.
Even with that big lead, you don't want to lose 2 or 3 strokes right here.
Yeah, especially not this early. Val trying to save par, but this is gonna be a scary putt.
She's going for it. Oh, just a little low. Maybe kind of a safe run.
It was a little bit, yeah. And this is gonna be Jessica for a par, Ben.
I think so. Yeah, from that great upshot she had.
Yeah.
I mean, if she hadn't hit that tree, she probably would have been parked.
True. And that's a pretty scary putt, too. Putting straight downhill.
Probably looking at almost 30 feet.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Hands it.
Nico approves, too.
Nico is impressed.
Yeah. Val, got a little comebacker here for a 4. Makes that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
4 is not a bad score on this hole.
Not really. Plays a par 3.5, honestly.
Yeah.
Paige with a nice putt to get the lone. Actually, not the lone par, but Jessica got a par as well.
They did a neat survey a few years ago where they ran the stats on what the pros' average scores were on a lot of holes, on all holes at De La, and hole 4 was within the top 5 toughest holes.
Yeah, I could easily see that.
Along with hole 11, hole 13, obviously, and a few more.
Yep. So we're on to a hole 5 next. 318 takes every bit of 450 feet of power to throw the hyzer line. You can also try to sneak it underneath, or there is kind of a layup shot off to the left, or by that dead tree. There's a little alley you can shoot through the bushes. And Paige is up first. Shoot for that alley, Ben?
I think so. I think she's trying to give herself a neat little look there.
Mm-hmm.
And if she doesn't hit it perfectly, she can always just hyzer up over the trees.
Yeah, true. Jessica's up next after carting a par on the last hole as well.
It's another fun hole with a lot of ways to approach it.
Yeah, you're right.
You got to have a big arm just to get there, but once you have that ability, you can maybe kind of go the way Jessica's going and skip it under there.
Yeah. I've seen some backhand rollers thrown on this hole as well.
John Baldwin throws a great cut roller.
That was exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Obviously you see the big arms just throw a huge hyzer, and it's so fun to watch.
Yeah, really, it's really amazing.
But even when you're not quite there, you can try to throw the big S turn over the kind of lowest part.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like a straight approach to the basket.
Gotcha. So Katrina's kind of going to the area you don't want to be, Ben.
It's about the one spot you really don't want to be.
Yeah, it's super dense right there with trunks and branches.
Right.
See if Valerie can avoid that. Prior rounds, I've seen her try to aim for that alley on the left. Let's see if she does that right here. She's got a super unique swing. That high-low rip, but she pumps it, Ben.
Yeah. Yeah. Generates a lot of momentum.
It really does. So here's her second shot. Looks like she's trying to scoot it through. Oh, kind of over the alley. And looks like she might have hit a tree, but hopefully gave herself a putt.
Probably okay. I think generally the way to go on this hole is to go over. And you look, Jessica is just close enough to the trees that she's got a very tricky upshot.
Wow. Little Tommy.
But she does it.
It looked like it worked.
Yeah.
Paige throwing a forehand through the gap, but missed the gap, man.
Intended to go through the gap.
Yeah.
I like the Paige is throwing more forehands than I'd seen in previous years.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it kind of bit her on that one. I think she probably could have thrown an easy hyzer over.
Mm-hmm. So Katrina actually looks like you found a pretty decent window.
Yeah.
And here is Jess for par. Nice putt.
Good putt.
Mm-hmm. Really want to make any of those where you're in the pit, you know?
Yeah. But it can be a little tricky because there's some elevation there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We got looking at Val with a comebacker for a par.
Ooh. Just enough.
Squeaking it over. And Katrina with her par putt coming in. No worries there. Yep. And this is going to be Paige for a 4, Ben.
Yeah, I'm sure she wishes she could have that upshot back.
Yeah, absolutely. Those roots always make the footing interesting at De La.
Yeah, they do.
It's not often you get those standard backyard putts, you know, or putting stance.
It's very true.
Mm-hmm. So Paige taking the bogue. Katrina's lead still 7. We're on to hole 6, 417. Pretty downhill. OB ditch off to the right of the basket, like 30, 35 feet, and then there's OB road behind the basket, maybe like 7 feet. And,
it's kind of funny. The last hole is something like 317 and plays like 417. This one's 417 and plays more like 317.
No, that's totally true. And Jessica just parked it, babe.
I do think so. She just stayed left of that OB.
Wow, killer shot. Katrina taking the mid-range up the middle approach, but didn't get it to flip, Ben.
I don't know if she was really going for the flip shot or if she meant to release it a little later.
Okay.
I don't know. Either way, just something was a little off there.
Yeah.
She's going to have to dial it in if she wants to hold on to her lead.
Yep, true story.
Val needs a hook right here.
Yep, hopefully that sits down. I think that might have gone OB right there, Ben.
I think it was just a little long.
Yeah, it looked like it. Paige Pierce also throwing a mid-range.
Some of you saying, she can throw a mid-range over 400 feet? Well, the downhill helps a little.
Yeah.
Look at that air bounce.
Oh, man. Don't think she wanted that one, though.
No, but not an altogether bad shot.
Yep. And here's Katrina's second shot. Pretty sweet angle you got, Ben.
Yeah, thanks. Really get in there, give people a player's view.
Yeah, right. It's really cool.
As long as I don't mess with the players.
Yeah, true, definitely. So it looks like Katrina came up a little short, and Paige has a pretty similar look to Katrina.
Yeah, I don't know how I just transported myself from one spot to another.
Dude, you got the Speedy Gonzalez skills.
Oh, I'm an X-Man. Is that what they call themselves? I don't know.
Jessica with her birdie look, pretty death putty. Oh, that one just got a little floaty on her.
Really not one you want to airball, but it looked like it might have just stayed in the ditch there in bounds.
Yeah, I think you're right. And Katrina with a scary putt for par. Ooh.
Oh!
Man.
You hate those because she was definitely taking kind of a safe run, but it was just that close to being in.
Yeah. And Paige has a pretty similar look to Katrina.
Oh, gee.
Just
These baskets giving them a little trouble in the early going.
Yeah, they really are.
I don't know if it's the basket or maybe they're just a little off.
Yeah. Final round jitters, you never know.
Could be.
Yeah.
Masters Cup does tend to bring out a little bit of extra intensity.
Yeah, De La will definitely rattle your nerves.
Mm-hmm.
And Val has this for either a 2 or a 3. Pretty sure it's a 3. Makes
Great
that
putt.
Yeah, really nice. And Jessica has a little comebacker for a par. Makes that.
It's J. Michael Berry in the background and Jason Cortella as well.
Dude, Michael Berry crushes. So does Jason Cortella.
Yeah. The new overhand world record holder.
Yeah, unbelievable. Dude throws crazy far. A couple bogeys for Paige and Katrina. Up next is hole 7, 395. Pretty slightly uphill for 200, and then pretty downhill for 200. Fairway narrows, and there's a drop off behind the basket.
Yeah, it's a fun little shot where you could say you're just getting over that lip with like a mid range, and all of a sudden you get 100 feet more glide.
Yeah, that's exactly right, actually. Ooh, Jessica didn't get the worst kick, but probably not what she was hoping for. And Val's up next. Ripping out the Annie Ben.
Yeah, it looks like it just kept going right.
Yeah, it did. Hopefully that'll play. We'll never know until we get down there.
Right.
Katrina Allen piping it right up the middle.
That looks just about right.
Yeah, that's the line you want.
If that comes back to stable and finishes really straight, then she could be parked.
Yeah. Oh, Paige.
Oh, no.
Held on to that one a little too long. This is a tough upshot here, Ben.
Yeah. Another one of those infamous delicate greens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're thrown onto hard pan and trying to stay out of the brush.
Right.
That one looked like it might have gotten to the rough on the left. We'll see. And Jessica has this for second shot. Downhill, all hard pan, low ceiling even.
Gotta love the touch up shot with the flick.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful shot.
Even she's impressed.
Rightfully so. Looks like a Katrina finished in the middle of the fairway. Has this for a second shot, but it's a tough upshot.
It really is. Yeah. You got to keep it pretty low to the ground.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like Val finished pretty nicely, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Had that for a second. And looking at Paige's third. Ooh, misses a par putt, but at least it stayed up on the hill.
That's true.
Now Katrina's par right here. Solid putt.
Very nice. Awkward position.
Yeah. Got to practice those weird ones if you want to make them in the round, right?
That's true. Yeah, you might look kind of funny on the putting green, but sometimes looking funny makes you money.
Yeah, right.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Did I just come up with a rap?
Oh man,
Good.
that was terrible. That was terrible.
I liked it.
And look at that upshot from Jessica.
Yeah.
You will not see many better than that on that hole.
No, especially not with a flick.
Yeah, super nice. So Val getting a par as well, and we're on to hole 8 and 348. Pretty downhill. OB left in the road and long in the road, and then right it slopes off and then gets really nasty with brush. And
Pure tunnel shot.
Yep, pure tunnel shot. Even a low ceiling too, just a really tough one.
Yeah.
And Jessica has the box. Going a CE T-Bird.
You deal with the elements a little bit on this one too. There's some gravity factor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You think she stole that out of Nico's stash?
I don't know, maybe.
You know he's got some money in Novoplastic.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah. Can't throw it anymore, but he's got it, you know.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Val throwing the TL, which is a really nice choice for this hole.
Yeah. Known as a very straight disc.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, but I don't think she wanted to go as far left as she did, but it's fading right.
Oh
and
my god.
flirting with the OB, and I think she must have stayed in.
Yeah,
she seems satisfied with that.
Yeah, she's flashing that I got away with it smile.
Hey, that's right. That's right.
Katrina Allen.
Katrina, I believe, throwing an Uli stamped M3.
Ah, very cool.
Yep.
Just throws it, pipes it right up the middle, a little short, but no shame in that one. She's happy.
No, she's gonna have a good putt.
Yeah. And here's Paige throwing an M4, also mid-range.
Mm-hmm.
Nice choice to pipe it straight for days.
I think Paige has really become well known for throwing the M4.
Yeah, you're right.
And shots like that, why not?
Yeah, really nice. Gives herself
This is the furthest out drive on this hole.
Wow.
Probably 40 feet. There's just so much trouble you can get into here that's really spectacular.
It really is. And I'm looking at Paige's birdie putt. What, about 30 out, Ben?
I think even a little closer.
Yeah, maybe 25, 20.
Very nice. Yeah. But downhill and those trees
Mm-hmm.
makes it a little tricky.
Yeah, really nice putt for bird. And Katrina has this to match Paige.
Trina might actually be a little further out.
Oh.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Tapping in the par.
She's still got a good lead.
Yeah. And Jessica with a killer drive, man.
Oh, yeah.
Puts in the bird.
Definitely went close to being out of bounds, but, sometimes you risk it and you get the biscuit.
Yep. I kind of like the logs there.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it too mean.
They haven't always been there, but they are now.
Yeah. But up next is hole 8A. And this one's shorty, but it's technical. There's like
yes.
canyon off to the right hand of the fairway the entire way. You're thrown up and then gradually down, and the basket's right on the edge of the cliff.
There might be no other hole that's got as many 2s and 5s on the same card.
Yeah, you could definitely say that about this hole. If you miss this first gap, you're in trouble.
Yeah, especially if you kick right. But that looked just about perfect.
That was the perfect line from Jessica, that Annie that's just fading at the very end.
And if I must point out, she's already 1 under par.
Wow.
And might go to 2 here.
That is pretty impressive.
Yeah. They say an even round on this setup is 1,000 rated.
Believe it.
Yeah.
Paige's throw. Also gets it across the gap, and if you're over there,
not getting the fade that she wanted to the right.
Yeah, like in that turn. And here's Val. Throwing a rock, it looked like, Ben?
I think so. It could be one of her AVRs, but I'm pretty sure it's a rock.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yep. That thing looks about 20 years old.
It probably is, which is what you want.
Yeah.
Oh, but just released it a little late.
Yeah, that took a nasty kick.
So we'll see if she can recover.
Yeah, it's a tough out from down there.
Very, very tough.
Yep.
You're all of a sudden in the jungle.
Yeah, you see a lot of throws go about 10 feet and then hit a tree, and then you're thrown again.
Yeah.
And again. So Katrina opting for the putter here, Ben.
It's a good choice. You got to rip it hard just to get it there, though. Oh, and that's what happens sometimes.
Oh, man. Tough kick. So down there in the yellow, that's Valerie.
Ooh. Well, she had quite a bit of heat on that, and look at that. Wow, great shot.
Really nice out. And here's Katrina from a little bit better of a spot, but certainly not awesome.
She looks like she's opting for a flick.
Yeah, huh? Thinking about the backhand, switch to the forehand.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works. She gets out.
And it's got the hyzer to cut back. I think she's pretty close.
Yeah.
Paige with another death putt look here.
Yeah, pretty scary. There's a couple trees behind, but you could easily roll out 100 feet.
Yeah, you really don't want to miss right.
Ooh.
Oh!
Huge putt.
Excellent putt.
Really nice.
Yeah, she's definitely outside the circle. I'd say that was 40, maybe 45.
Yeah, definitely. And Val from also about the circle's edge has this for a par. Let's see if she can bang this one.
Now this is a better place to be.
Less scary of a putt.
Less scary, but that was just inches away from rolling down that hill too.
Yeah, it was. You're definitely not safe from any angle on this one.
No, except the one that's right next to the basket.
Yeah, that is the best. So Jess gonna try and get a bird here.
She should put this home, and she does.
Wow.
2 under par through 9 holes.
Man, that is impressive.
Yeah.
And Katrina, a little par putt right here.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty nice par save after that drive, Ben.
Very nice. Yeah.
Easily
Jeff
could have been a
Kegley
5.
on the bag.
Oh, nice.
That's my buddy from Napa.
How we doing? Val tap in her 4. And a couple birdies from Paige and Jessica. And that's going to bring us up to hole 9, 315 feet. Traditional shot's kind of a anti-flex backhand. You also see some mid-ranges up the middle, or a big hyzer forehand also works, but a little scary towards the basket.
Yeah, the lines you see in this diagram, the blue is the big hook shot that you see a lot of people take. It's kind of an eagle type of route.
Yeah.
Or a lot of people will just power a mid-range right up the middle and take their chances with those diagonal trees.
Yep. So Jessica's throwing that anti-flex shot, and that looked pretty good, Ben.
Yeah, she looked upset with it, but...
Yeah, she hit, what, a super late tree, it looked like?
Yeah, I think so. One of the last ones.
Mm-hmm. So is Paige taking that mid-range kind of right at it approach?
That's how it's done.
That's how you park it, man.
Yep.
Unreal. Katrina's up next. taking the same line as Paige, but didn't get the flip on that.
Oh. Nope, not quite.
In the middle of the fairway, at least.
Yeah, the place where she's at is kind of interesting. The looks on it are not exactly obvious.
Yeah. And here's Valerie. Throwing that anti-flex shot, and ooh, that hit a tree, Ben.
I think it got a kick right, but luckily it got pretty far up the fairway before it got right. There's a lot of brush on the early right side of the fairway.
Yeah.
There's Katrina making, wow, a beautiful upshot.
Really,
like it had a chance to go in.
Yeah, it was a great skip shot.
Yeah.
So this is going to be Valerie out of the bushes, Ben?
She did seem to get into the rough quite a bit,
Yeah.
but she's throwing an AVR.
So she must not be too far.
No, I don't think.
Yeah.
Good shot.
Yeah, pretty good out from there.
Yeah.
And Jessica came a little short, has just for a bird.
Yeah, Jessica seemed disappointed, but this is a turkey opportunity right here
Yeah, you're right.
to go to 3 under par.
Yeah, doing work.
Oh, it was just that close.
She was disappointed.
Gives a Nico stomp.
You're right. Looking at Valerie right here. She's going to try and save a par. Ooh.
Wow, she hit the top of that twice.
She did, huh?
That was crazy.
Don't see that often.
No.
And Paige after an unreal drive. Just a little tappy.
Just to tap it in.
Wow. Nice work.
Yep.
That's 2 in a row for her. Actually,
Yeah.
might be 3. No, just 2.
All right.
Everybody else tapping in pars. Every Val tapping in the bogue. Katrina's lead. It's
Still large.
Yeah, it's 8.
Well, she got 7 on
Yeah,
page.
7 on page day. Yeah, true story. But up next is hole 10, 347 feet, super straight with this really tiny dogleg right finish at the end. See the anti backhand or the forehand or the backhand roller all work.
Yeah, it's another very you get a very diverse selection of shots.
Yeah, and we'll see what Paige does. She throws the backhand right up the middle, and that can finish straight. She'll give herself a putt.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. Jessica Weiss up next.
It's kind of neat. You could take about any of these lines with a backhand or a forehand.
Yeah, really cool. Ooh, look at that shot, man.
That is textbook. Very nice.
Wow, I think she might have actually finished even a little long left.
Yeah.
Pumping it. And here's Katrina.
Trina lining up what I've called the Macbeth route, even though he's obviously not the only one to throw it, and I'm sure not the first.
Mm-hmm.
But throwing just a nice little Anheuser between the second and third of these 3 trees.
Okay.
And there it goes.
Wow. That is tracking right at the basket.
Yeah.
Really nice shot.
That's how it's done.
Yep. Val? What did she throw on this one, Ben?
I think probably a Starfire. She's been throwing a lot of them.
Yeah, she has. Yep, there it is. I think she kind of just throws right up the middle, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, she has at least one of her Starfires is pretty worked in.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Which
yeah.
allows her to take really straight long shots.
Yeah, that's what she threw right there.
Yeah, look great.
Yeah. Giving a smile, it must have worked out all right. And there's Jessica, did finish a little long left, and it looks like she had a tough out right there and just kind of lit it for a par.
Nice touch-up shot with the 2-finger.
Yeah, it was. And I'm looking at Paige's birdie bid right here. What, 40 out, Ben?
Yeah, she has one, and there's a little bit of a depth element again right behind her. Another 20 feet or so is the out of bounds.
Yeah, if you got a crazy rollout, it could definitely happen.
Yep.
Ooh. A little short.
A little short left, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Katrina after a really nice drive. Looking at her birdie look.
Wonder what she's listening to.
She rocking out to some jams?
I mean, she's got the iPod on. Wow, nice putt.
Yeah. Super nice bird.
Marty on the tweet.
Yeah. Doing some work over there.
I think he probably got that in before the putt went in.
He's that good. And Valerie also had a really nice drive, Ben.
Yeah.
Smoked it
Wow,
right up the middle.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah. And capitalizes with the birdie putt right there.
Problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, good straddle.
Paige makes her comebacker for a par. And she's gonna make this.
Tap in her par, yeah.
Yeah. Good job not making me a liar.
All right.
Decent gallery out there following the ladies around.
Oh yeah, here we got Michael.
Oh yeah.
Of Disc Golf IO.
Yeah.
And CSUMB Disc Golf.
Yeah. Really
Always
cool
been
guy.
good friends to me.
Yeah, super nice guy.
Yep.
I
There's
see.
Brian Schoenfelder.
I see McNerlin.
Oh,
Yeah.
Katrina.
Yeah. They're big Katrina fans, the McNerlins.
Are they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
As they should be. She's
Yeah,
a great
right.
player.
Yeah, she kills it. But up next is hole 11, 369. Got to throw super straight for 369 feet.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah.
Trees
A lot of people clip these trees on the left or the right.
Yep.
Sorry.
No worries. And there's a road off to the right if you kick way too far, but it can happen.
As well as lots of trees on the left once you get past the initial gap.
Katrina throwing the D1 and
Ooh, nasty kick.
Yeah. I believe she did stay in bounds though. She was asking that over there. And Valerie Jenkins. She's throwing her Starfire again, Ben.
Yeah, probably trying to go right up the middle. It's just one of the prettiest shots I've ever seen when it's executed to perfection.
Oh yeah. Looking pretty good, but again, caught a tree off to the right.
It's rough over there.
It really is. It gets pretty dense on the right-hand side. And Paige also throwing a driver at D1. Pretty aggressive choice. Ooh.
Oh! She got a discount double kick.
Yeah, double tap right in the middle of the fairway, though. Can't ask for much more than that. And Jessica's up next. Throwing a leopard. Nice shot for a straight throw.
Pro line leopard.
Yeah. Throw a little hyzer flip and I think it'll just sail for days.
And that's why you have that disc in the bag.
Yep. Hey, listen.
Yeah.
See the basket down there on the left side of your screen? This is a tough second shot, man.
Very tough. I'm sure she's going to try to throw an Anheuser through the obvious gap, but it's tight.
It really is.
It's even tighter than it looks.
Wow.
But wow. Very nice.
Hit that line. So Paige after the double tap, at least she's in the middle of the fairway, but probably still at least 120, 150 out.
Yeah, it's going to take a good straight shot here.
Looks like a nice up, yeah.
Yep.
Just a little bit short. And Katrina, this looks like a difficult stance.
Yeah, I think she did stay in bounds, but it's pretty rough.
Wow. Oh.
Wow, she really looks like she put a lot into that.
Yeah.
And maybe tried a little too hard.
Yep. So looking at a third here. Laying up. It's going to be a tough
Solid
four.
out, but that's going to be a tough putt for 4.
Yeah, really. And after the nicest drive from Jessica, this should be just easy up and down or...
Yeah, she's in a good position here to just get an easy 3 on this hole.
Which most people will take every time.
Right.
if you give them the option.
You say, would you rather take a 3 or risk it for a 2? And I don't know. I would probably say, just give me the 3.
Yeah, definitely. Ooh, Katrina comes up a little short left on that 4 attempt. It's going to take a 5. And looking at Val's putt to save a par.
It's a long one.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Give it a little Val jump, but a little right on that one.
Yep.
And Jessica with a longer par putt than I'm sure she wanted, but within her range.
Certainly. Oh, up in it.
Squeaked it over.
Okay. Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
And here's Paige's putt for a par. Should be no problem.
Oh my gosh.
I take that back.
It should have been no problem.
Yeah.
But you have to figure something was going on that, I don't know, maybe she lost a little focus there.
Yeah. So Val tapping in the 4. I got Katrina tapping in the 5. And Paige will tap in her 4 reluctantly.
Right.
Sometimes you just lose focus for a second, and there goes your
Yeah.
putt.
Disc golf, especially at a course like the La Viega, it's so intense on the mind.
Yeah, it really, really is. But that's all we got for part 1, guys. We will catch you in part 2. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.